Now we move to the Silver Hope Award, and you're going to hear from several different people about our wonderful award winner, Les Vann, my boss. But if I could just say something personally to start with. I have been at Local 12 for 25 years. Well, thank you. Don't be that impressed, because there are a couple people in this crowd who have been there a lot longer than I have, like John Lomax, my best friend. How many years, John? How many years? 30 years. And how about Debbie Dixon, the greatest reporter in the world? How many years, Deb? She says she has no idea how long she's been there. Anyway, and there are many more people from Local 12 in the audience, some in front of the camera, many behind. I think every department is represented, and it's really a testament to our boss, Les Vann. What a tremendous person, you know, inside and out. And I think I love Les the most because he has such great passion for life, certainly for our station. I mean, he's the guy who will roll up his sleeves and get in there in the trenches when the going gets tough, whether it's a tornado or, you know, whatever it is. He works very hard, and there's a reason our station is #1. It's mostly the people, I would say, but it starts at the top. And it's a privilege to work with him. And his other passion is for this community, which is really why he's being honored tonight. I've had a lot of owners and managers over the years, over the 25 years, and Les, more than any other, is one who doesn't just allow us to get involved in the community, he encourages it. He wants us to be involved in charitable organizations and functions and galas and golf tournaments and runs and golf tournaments, everything. I mean, you name it. And it's really refreshing to have someone who genuinely cares the way Les cares. Like I said, you're going to hear more from other people about Les. In fact, one person who's really a cool guy and a stud, and I've watched him for years on TV doing his show that I think is the coolest thing in the world. You know, you can't find him on the field anymore at Paul Brown Stadium, but you can frequently find him walking the streets of his adopted city of Cincinnati. You can also find him on the Travel Channel, Spike TV, and VH1. And maybe even the Bow Tie Cafe in Mount Adams. Please welcome a very close friend of Les's and current bow tie ambassador, Mr. Dhani Jones.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's feeling fantastic tonight. It is a beautiful evening, and I am proud to stand before you today to present the Silver Hope Award to Les Vann. But before I present the award, I wanted to unveil the first ever National MS Society bow tie. Now, the National MS Society bow tie was actually created, it was actually inspired by Les Vann. And you'll notice there's several aspects to the bow tie itself. It has orange, which is the color of National MS Society. It also has silver, which is obviously the Silver Hope Award. Now, you'll see that there's a pattern that's in there as well. And although it may appear to be an elegant design, that is actually a healthy myelin sheath. And we all know from MS, which is a deterioration of the myelin sheath, which causes MS, this is a representation of a healthy myelin sheath. Now, for the National MS Society, these ties will be available for sale. Of course, which all proceeds will go to National MS Society. The reason a lot of people may ask why the bow tie. My story started off by my friend Kunta Littlejohn, who had cancer. And before I knew he had cancer, he told me, you know, if you want to be somebody, you got to rock a bow tie. And I looked at him like he was crazy. I said, the only person that I know wears a bow tie is my neighborhood professor, and I don't necessarily want to be like him. The only person that I know wears a bow tie is, well, Mickey Mouse wears bow ties. Pee Wee Herman wears bow ties. Orville Redenbacher wears bow ties. Matter of fact, Count Chocula wears bow ties. And although these are amazing characters, I think, no, maybe not. And I soon found that he had cancer, and I immediately went to put on a bow tie. And I wanted to support him. I wanted to support his mission to recover from cancer. And so the story goes, he got better, and I never took the bow tie off. And through Bow Tie Cause, we inspire and hope to help other people tell stories about people that inspire them, about family members that have lived through, suffered, may have passed, but the stories of their life. We wish to tell stories because stories drive emotion. Emotion drives people, and people drive the world. And so the stories shall continue, and the stories shall continue in motion. And so the National MS Bow Tie shall be presented tonight. Now, before we proceed with the presentation of the Silver Hope Award to Les Vann, let's send it to Local 12's Brad Johansson with the latest sports update.
This is the Sports Authority.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Local 12 Sports Director Brad Johansson. Our top story tonight is not a game-winning touchdown, a miraculous comeback, or even a walk-off home run. Tonight, the spotlight's shining on the Queen City's newest MVP, a savvy television veteran whose major league commitment to our community has earned the respect and admiration of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Les Vann, Vice President and General Manager of WKRC-TV, has been named the 2012 recipient of the Silver Hope Award for Leadership and Community Service. Since arriving in Cincinnati in 2008, Les has not only maintained Local 12's legacy of community involvement, but he has strengthened it as well. Nowhere is this more evident than the relationship between Local 12 and our Cincinnati Bengals. Through increased programming, promotion, and special events, Les has truly helped weave the Bengals into the fabric of our community.
Well, Les has been a great partner, and we've enjoyed working with him a ton. He's been extremely responsive and helpful in a lot of the initiatives that we've taken on. For example, when we've done, whether it's the Taste of the NFL event or when we have some of the drives that we have to bring food for the Free Store Food Bank or Toys for Tots campaign. Les has always been extremely helpful and responsive to us in helping to promote those. So really we viewed him as a partner, and we're very appreciative of everything he's done for us. You know, here's one great big hooday for Les.
The Marvin Lewis Community Fund began the Learning is Cool program about 4 years ago, and I think we're in our 5th season now, 5th year. And really we're awarding academic achievement to the A honor roll to recognize students who achieve the A honor roll twice in their school year calendar year. Les has really been out front in being supportive of things that people are doing in the community, and certainly what we're doing with the community fund. And he's second to none. I don't think he ever misses an event. He's always there for us. He's always supportive, and I just appreciate it, and congratulations this evening.
Les's love of sports covers all the bases here in Cincinnati. Under his direction, Local 12 has advanced our community's relationship with the first place Cincinnati Reds, as well as the Western and Southern Open at the Tennis Center in Mason.
Under Les's leadership, Local 12's relationship with the SPCA and their relationships individually and collectively with the Reds has had a lot to do with how successful the Bark in the Park games have been over the last few years. Without the support of Local 12 and Les Vann, that support would not really be there.
Well, Les really led the charge to become a media partner with the tournament and take the lead role. And over the last couple of years, he's done a great job of spotlighting our international event to everybody here in Cincinnati. He's tried to integrate it, everything through the tournament itself, and really has been a tremendous partner. In recognition for that, we're going to create some presents for him in the Champions Balcony. We're going to create a presence for him in the Champions Garden. And then probably the piece that might be closest to his heart, some Champions Parking, which we'll let him and Roger work out the details of how they want to handle his spot.
Amid all the glitz and glamour of professional sports, it's easy to see Les's and Local 12's involvement in our community. But Les's investment of time and resources goes far beyond the playing field. Organizations like Neediest Kids of All, Crayons to Computers, and the SPCA all benefit from the generosity of Les Vann. SPCA Special Events Manager Lori Fenner sums it up by saying, "You have changed thousands of lives for the better in the greater Cincinnati area. We are so grateful. You are a wonderful inspiration toward making our world more valuable." There's a saying in sports that big-time players come up big in big-time situations. Whether it's helping to feed those in need or giving a child the opportunity for a better education, Les Vann stands tall when the moment demands a primetime performance.
Local 12 responds when the Free Store has a need. When we call, you respond. It's right here in Les's heart. He knows what needs done, and he makes sure that the Local 12 extends their efforts to the community through the Free Store Food Bank. I mean, if it isn't here, it doesn't get done, and Les has it there.
You know, it's interesting, when Les came to join the station, we were nominated for 2 Emmys for our Books Alive for Kids television show. So it's a great way to meet the new guy on the block. And he understood it. He understood the impact of children being able to have a multiple sensory opportunity to engage them in reading and literacy, which is what we do. You can easily have the power of the fourth estate at your beck and call and be very selfish about it. I think it's that understanding that if you can share your power, you empower people. And I think that's what makes Les say yes. I really do.
The Rusty Ball is an annual fundraising event. It's a very collaborative model. This year we have 159 charities in our community that will benefit from the event. Les's involvement and his heart for the community, this I think just seemed like a good fit for him, because in one evening through one organization, Les has been able to affect so many others in our community, and the nearly $1 million that we've raised has in large part been due to Les and the involvement of Local 12 overall.
Les seems to have a heart for helping out, and that was shown in him bringing his staff here and just being friendly, being open, being kind, being considerate and thoughtful of others. And that really made a difference in identifying his personality. And by me seeing that, I would say, wow, it's a good match.
I'm Local 12 Sports Director Brad Johansson. That's all the time we have. Thanks so much for watching. And congratulations once again to Les Vann, winner of the 2012 National Multiple Sclerosis Society Silver Hope Award.
A personal note about Les Vann. In a quote, "Awareness. Yesterday I lived bewildered in illusion, but now I'm awake, flawless, and serene beyond the world." There are certain crossroads in your life in which people have a profound effect on you. Coming to the city of Cincinnati forever has changed my life. First, as I stopped down in the stadium, and Marvin Lewis almost kicked me out, but he kept me. And secondly, as I started to transition into a new world, Les Vann provided an opportunity for me. He provided an opportunity for growth. And through rewirement, I became more aware. And through rewirement, I shall continue. Les Vann has contributed to this community, and he will continue to contribute to this community. But through the bow tie and his contribution in the Silver Hope Award, it has also stretched out past just this room. Ken Rosenthal on this Saturday will be wearing the Silver Hope bow tie inspired by Les Vann for the Reds game. Chris Welsh will be wearing the bow tie, the Reds game, this Tuesday. The GM of the Texas Rangers, whose mother has MS, wishes to wear the bow tie for you as well. Ryan Zimmerman of the Washington Nationals, whose mother has MS, will be wearing the bow tie as well. So in the same way you have catalyzed this room, you have catalyzed the community, and you have catalyzed me and everybody else here today. So now I wish to present the Silver Hope Award to my friend, my mentor, Les Vann.
The people who know me best would tell you it takes a lot to make me speechless. That's truly made me speechless. Helen, you are a tough act to follow. What an inspiration you are. And Kim, this event tonight, what the MS Society provides that you can't necessarily see is hope and help. And what you do for people who have a need that sometimes is hard for people to see is remarkable. And congratulations to you for everything you've done to put this together tonight. I want to take just a second to introduce a couple members of my family. My wife Shannon is here. My son Kyle is here. Shannon's sister Cindy and her husband Scott are here. Scott and I have known each other since we were 4 years old. He came to visit me in college when I was dating Shannon, and Cindy was visiting Shannon, and they got married before we did. My son Kyle doesn't realize it, but he is inadvertently responsible for a lot of me getting involved in the communities that I lived. When he was in kindergarten or first grade, his elementary school, Susan Wilcox, had an ice cream social. So Shannon and I, being new parents at the school, wanted to go. So we go to the ice cream social, and I was on television at the time, and the principal comes up to me and he says, "We would love to have you help with the PTA." I said, "Sure. What would you like me to do?" He says, "We want you to be president." And I said, "Can't I start scooping ice cream or something else?" At the Western Southern table here, Bob and Debbie Del Santo are sitting there. Debbie and I grew up together in Springfield, Illinois. And our kids then grew up together, and Debbie and I ran the PTAs at 3 different schools, and I cannot tell you how much fun we had doing that and helping all of the kids. When Jim Vitruba got this honor with Northern Kentucky University a few years ago, he said, and I quote, "This award reflects not only his commitment, but the commitment of the entire campus of Northern Kentucky University." And that's really how I feel about Local 12. It is a station-wide, multi-generation commitment. Now, you see a lot of our efforts through the partnerships we do that show up on television, the Rubber Duck Regatta, the SPCA Pet of the Week, the Marvin Lewis Community Fund. Marvin, by the way, I'm going to go off script just a bit. This October will mark 10 years of the Marvin Lewis Community Fund and the generational impact well beyond football that you and the Cincinnati Bengals have had because of that will be felt here for a very long time. Thank you very much. It is such a pleasure doing business in Cincinnati and working with organizations like all of these that are listed here tonight. But working with the Bengals and with Marvin has truly been a pleasure. And most of you have no idea how far and how deep their commitments go into the community and the things that they do and all of these businesses do that you don't see. Now, you see Kathy Wade with Learning Through Art on television. You see the Rubber Duck Regatta on television. There's a lot of things that the people at Local 12 do that you don't see. And I want to take a moment to talk about those. First of all, I see John Lomax here tonight. John has to be at work in about 3 hours. And if you only knew what he had to do to hold that morning crew together, you wouldn't believe it. some of the things that you don't see, and I'm not going to mention them by name because they don't do it for recognition. There's a member of our staff who buys a pig every year to help the 4-H and never takes any public credit for it. There's 2 members of our staff that have been active in the hospice community. One in particular told me a story recently how she sat in the hospice unit with a woman she had met as a viewer. The mother was in the hospice unit taking care of her 18-year-old daughter who was about to lose her battle. The daughter was about to lose her battle with cancer. And our staff member sat there and held her hand. A member of our staff recently helped an undocumented African refugee with no money, no support network, and no ability to speak English get health care that she desperately needed in a crisis. Floyd was on talking about the Mount Auburn Community Center, and for those of you that haven't been to Local 12, we're in Mount Auburn, and we're a member of the Mount Auburn Chamber of Commerce. It's a great organization. Holly Dorna is here tonight. She's part of that, and Floyd, that's where we met. He talked about it. We did take members of our staff over there one evening to play games with these underprivileged kids, and we sponsored a dinner for them. You would have thought we'd given those kids a pot of gold. They were so grateful. And one of the members of our staff that was there that night had been at work since 3 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get there till 5. And we are as proud of the things that you don't see that we do as the things that you do see in the television sponsorships. I could go on and on and on about what the people do. There are dozens and dozens of examples. But this station has an attitude of community service in its DNA for 65 years. But there's a couple of people who really took it to the next level. Many of you remember Bill Mall, who was a general manager a few general managers ago, went on to a great job at Clear Channel Television and Radio. Bill set the standard for community service for television stations that is followed by the entire country. Local 12's tentacles in community service are modeled by every TV station in the country. Several years ago, a gentleman before me, Chris Searing, had the foresight to hire Jeanette Altino as the Director of Community Initiatives for us. Many of you know her. The work that she does 24 hours a day with most of you in this room is just unbelievable to me. Now, you may find this hard to believe, but the very first day I was at the television station, I'm walking down the hall just trying to meet people, and I see Jeanette, and I stop in, and I say, "Hi, I'm Les Vann, I'm the new general manager here," and she says, "Sit down. I need to tell you about everything that we have going in the next month." I said, "Okay." Jeanette, would you please stand up and be recognized for your work at Local 12? Thank you very much. The first guy I worked for in television as a general manager was a man named Milt Friedland. He died many years ago, but I'll never forget it. And I was trying to learn a little bit about the television business from him, and we were talking about public service. And he said to me, never ever look at it as an obligation. Look at it as a privilege that you have to work in a medium where people know what you do and know who you are and that you can help. And Milt, I hope you're listening tonight because I've never forgotten it. I want all of you in this room to help us continue for the next 65 years in being involved in this great community, and you can do that for us by continuing to demand the best of Local 12 in every single thing that we do. And Rob and Cammie, thank you very much. Where's Rob's English teacher? Carol, you wouldn't believe the job you've done, because if you've ever seen Rob, when somebody hands him a story that's got bad grammar and they expect him to read it, he has invoked your name more than once in that newsroom. But again, thank you for your time tonight. I am very humbled. I am very excited. And I mean it when I say you all must continue to demand the best from Local 12 every day, You deserve no less. Thank you very much.
That is the real deal right there. We're lucky, lucky, lucky to have him at Local 12. Congratulations again to Les and to Helen. What a lovely night. Now, we have some terrific auction items, but not a lot, just a few, and you are going to love them. So, we've got spotters around the room.